Here, Frank.
Ready? Good morning, everyone. It's September 27th, 2022. We'll call the Wright County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Nice to see people in the house. The first order of business are the minutes. Does anyone have any corrections?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Ketchmark?
Thank you. So page 23 of 34, on the bottom, we're talking about the capital improvement fund. And I had asked the question if insurance costs would rise if the $90,000 security surveillance camera installation at Public Works building wasn't completed. Risk manager Tim Dahl got up to speak on the matter, and the answer was no, that there wasn't any extra cost to the county insurance-wise if the camera system was not installed. So just requesting that the answer to the question be noted in the minutes. That's all I have.
All right. I just have a little correction on page 34 of 34. A clarification, really. On the second sentence, it says more than 30,000 people would receive funding, and it should be all 87 counties and cities with populations over 30,000 will receive funding.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Ketchmark?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with those couple changes.
All right. Motion
I'll
made by
second it.
Commissioner Ketchmark, seconded by Commissioner Leiden. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Opposed? Motion carries. The agenda. Anything that anyone would like to add or subtract from the agenda today? All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Leiden. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wetter. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. Consent agenda. Is there anything that anyone would like to remove for further discussion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Ketchmark?
claim or warrant number 275334 for just under $26,000 for Department 111 for discussion.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda with that item removed.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Leiden. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Wetter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So, Commissioner Ketchmark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So looking through the claims, page 2 of 25, warrant number 275334, for the amount of $25,953 to Weidner Plumbing and Heating Company, and it notes for the Tactical Training Center. So I talked to Administrator Kelly a little bit last week, and just wondering an update on that. It looks like we received the bill, or you approved it on September 12th, and from our discussion at a meeting, the county was going to pass along 19,000 of the bill to BKV, and the Wright County was going to pay 6,000. So can you give us an update on where we're at with the billing part?
Sure, be
starters?
happy to. So work was completed the last week of August by Widener, and then they had to do some testing to make sure everything was installed and configured correctly. At that point, as you mentioned, we were invoiced approximately the 12th of $25,000 and change, which the county decided to pay that bill in order to make sure that we paid it within the time frame so we wouldn't incur any penalties. The following day, the 13th, we did issue an invoice to BKV Group for the total of $19,000 as was directed at the 5/31 board meeting. So as of Friday, the 22nd, we did get the report from the testing that took place on the 8th, and confirming that everything is configured and operating as was designed and installed. So I don't have an update from the sheriff if they're using it as of Monday, but everything should be good to go at this time.
Oh, thank you. So the monitoring control panel, was that part of the bill from Weidner Plumbing and Heating, or did that come from another place? Because it was like a twofold fix, right?
Correct. I apologize, I don't have the bill in front of me, but I believe it's all included in that amount.
Okay. And is there an inspection yet to follow, or what was that process? Or do we need a certificate of occupancy, or how does that work after we make a change like that?
We were waiting for the airflow report that was provided to us on Friday. That was from, I forget the name of the company that did the testing and balancing of the system to make sure that it operated properly.
That was this past Friday, or?
Correct.
Okay, so do we get a bill for that inspection also?
I believe that was included in the cost.
Okay, so Weidner Plumbing and Heating did the inspection.
They subcontracted it out to a firm. I can't
Oh,
recall
oh.
their.
All right. And so is the range operational and can be used now?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thanks for the update. I didn't have anything else. So with that, make a motion to approve that item, the paid bill on the consent agenda.
All right,
Second it.
motion made by Commissioner Ketchmark, seconded by Commissioner Delyden. More discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that motion passes. All right, moving on to the timed items. Mr. Barry Reinberger, Planning and Zoning.
Madam Chair and Board, this item is the end of the EAW process for the MBE gravel mining pit. A little bit of history. It's a 33-acre parcel in Buffalo Township that the property owner and proposer has applied for a conditional use permit for gravel mining and extraction. There was a citizen petition for an EAW that the board approved. The petitioner got a vendor and they had prepared the EAW. We deemed it complete. It's been posted at the Environmental Quality Board website for open public comment. That is closed. We have the public comments. We have made responses to those comments that are in the packet along with the resolution that we have. Based on all the comments and the EAW itself, we're recommending a negative declaration for an environmental impact statement.
So just to clarify, yeah, this is, all the requirements have been met, and they've deemed, the state has deemed that they do not need to proceed with the environmental impact statement.
It's the county deems that.
Okay.
That's what this vote is to deem it, that a declaration that there is no need for an environmental impact statement, which is a longer, much more in-depth review process.
And right now, we're in a moratorium, of course, so whatever happens will happen after next May, any determinations and that kind of thing. And yeah, there's, I mean, questions, of course. A lot of it actually is come back to the traffic. And, you know, if that area can handle a gravel truck coming out every 90 seconds, as they have, when I'm reading over the report, it seems like that's what they're saying, that should be fine, you know, every 90 seconds. But I know the state, Minnesota Department of Transportation has basically said that with their review, that's their primary concern, is that that's really a pretty dangerous intersection right now. So I guess that's more to come with that, but the business at hand today is just to determine that, given all the information that they've gotten, that an EIS is not needed. Commissioner Wetter, or did you have a comment? No. Commissioner Delyden?
Doesn't Buffalo Township also have a moratorium?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
But this is,
That's-
was this submitted before the Buffalo Township put in a moratorium?
Yes, the Planning Commission application predated both the township's moratorium and the county's moratorium. And that's the language in the moratorium said any new or basically not approved. So this item was put on hold the moment the moratoriums, both Buffalo Townships, actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Buffalo Townships would have let this one proceed because the application was submitted prior to the moratorium being in place. The county's language in our moratorium did not reference application dates, but it's actively mining. And so that's why for the county's language, the moratorium is in effect. Once the county's moratorium expires or is lifted, if the Buffalo Township moratorium is still in place, the Planning Commission can proceed with the application because the language of the Buffalo Township moratorium is different.
All right,
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Ketchmark?
And thanks for coming in to help explain, and just for the record, there was over 400 pages of
Yeah.
information
It was very light reading over the weekend.
to review.
I tried to get it out as quick as I could.
So my question is, with the pending pit that's before us, with the moratorium that we have, whatever changes comes out of that moratorium, will those get passed along to this pit at the right time, or were they far enough along in the process that any changes from the moratorium won't apply to them because they were already at a certain point in the process?
Any changes would potentially impact that conditional use process. Since the moratorium was enacted, before a decision was made on the pit, any changes to ordinance language would potentially impact that application.
Okay.
Any other comments? All right, I'd look for a motion in this matter. It would be the determination of need for an environmental impact statement for MBE, sand and gravel mine in Buffalo Township, Wright County.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Wetter?
I'll make the motion that there's no need for an environmental impact statement for MBE Incorporated Sand and Gravel Mine in Buffalo Township.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Wetter.
Madam Chair, if I could just clarify,
Yeah.
Commissioner Wetter, your motion is to approve the resolution as presented by staff, correct?
Yes.
I'll second it.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Wetter, seconded by Commissioner Delyden. Yes, as stated, findings of fact, conclusions, and order for EIS need determination is not warranted. So that's, yeah, to clarify, kind of a complex issue for sure.
Yes.
So, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Commissioner Ketchmark?
Aye.
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 All right,
Thank you.
motion passes. Thanks, Barry. All right. What did I do with my agenda? Here we go. All right. Next up, we have Kimberly Fox, Extension. Or someone else.
I'm not Kim. I'm just saying that. I better introduce myself quick after I say good morning.
Morning.
I'm Lane Simpson.
Right.
I'm from the Wright County 4-H. I'm part of it. I'm a member of the Farside 4-H Club out on Maple Lake. That's my introduction to myself.
Okay.
So today Kim wanted me to come up and talk about 4-H and National 4-H Week. And 4-H is a youth organization that all youth between kindergarten, how many years? I personally went through 2 years of kindergarten, but kindergarten through the year past high school. So after you graduate, the next year you can still be in. And 4-H is offered to all of them as a leadership and development. So like say what I'm doing right now, I'm learning through my own actions that's led upon of how to lead a group of people and say do commissioner stuff like this. Say if I wanted to go through, I already learned the process when I was at my youth age. And we do this through clubs and programs. I don't know any other words to say through how we do it. But moving off from that, in Wright County 4-H, we have 18 clubs and over 600 people or 600 youth through that, and about 170 plus adult volunteers. And we were wondering if since on the first week of October is National 4-H Week, we were wondering if Wright County, if you guys, would approve the 2nd through the 8th of, say, 2020 or the years prior, or up to coming would be the right word, to declare it as National 4-H Week.
Great, yeah, you have a nice declaration. Would you like me to read that?
Sure, you can,
Yeah.
if you want, or if you want, I can read it too.
Yeah, sure, go right ahead.
So the first part is 4-H youth across the nation are leading efforts to solve problems in their communities and make differences for their futures. 4-H is Minnesota's largest youth development organization, growing leaders in each part of the state, reaching 69,000 youth last year. 4-H in Wright County 4-H in Wright County numbers more than 600 members and 170 volunteers. Minnesota 4-H committed to empowering youth with the skills they need to lead for a lifetime. Youth in 4-H collaborate with caring adults and lead hands on projects in areas like science, health, agriculture, and citizens and the arts. The 4-H experience helps youth to make positive choices, communication I cannot read this morning. You'd think I'd be able to read since I got English first hour, but moving on.
You're doing good.
Build connections with peers and adults, and be meaningful contributors to local and global communities. That's all they had down for me to read.
Okay, so
you want.
I can pick it up then.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, therefore, I, Christine Houston, Chair of the Wright County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim October 2nd through the 8th, 2022 as National 4-H Week in Wright County. I urge the people of the community to take advantage of the opportunity to become more aware of this special program that enhances our young people's interests in their futures as part of Wright County 4-H youth development, and to join us in recognizing the unique partnership between our county and the University of Minnesota. So,
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the proclamation of October 2nd through the 8th as National 4-H Week in Wright County.
all right.
I'll
Motion made by
second.
Commissioner Delyden, seconded by Commissioner Wetter. Any discussion? Yeah, keep up the great work. You know, I know you're out there and working with youth, and it's fun to see them at the fair every year and all the projects and, you know, serving good food in the 4-H building, so, yeah. All the animals, so it's
Chair.
a great program.
Are you an
Commissioner Wetter.
ambassador?
Yep,
Good.
I am a 4-H ambassador, and I've actually applied for coming to do next year and being an ambassador, so
Good for you.
I like the program.
Yes.
Sure.
Madam Chair?
What are your projects?
I do livestock projects, so cattle, sheep, rabbits, sometimes poultry, which is avians, and then I do some general exhibits, so mainly it's welding stuff that I do.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Delyden.
She asked, I wanted to know what he did. As far as the welding goes,
Yeah.
big demand for welding out
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah,
So-
I actually got into Wright Tech
Yeah.
for this year
Oh,
and
good.
next year for welding, so
So you'll probably have a job guaranteed once you get out of high school.
yep.
I would guess so, but, well, thank you
Thank you too, ma'am.
for coming, and do we vote?
We haven't voted yet.
We have not
Got a
voted.
first and second.
Still in discussion, yes. All right, all in favor of this proclamation? Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
None opposed?
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah,
Oh,
just wondering if we could do a quick picture. Forgot about that.
sure.
Or do you want me to stand?
Come in.
Okay.
Should we all stand? It's a little harder to get around this dais. Are we,
Get the chairs out
should we
of the
come,
way.
should we bring him up?
Walk around.
We better,
I don't know how to look.
we
Yeah.
better walk. Yeah.
Or
He'll
we
come
better
up.
off walking around.
All right. So you stand in the middle.
Okay.
We'll just line up so she can see. Thank you. Yeah, we'll have to figure out that process.
Photo booth.
Yeah. All right. Items for consideration, Administrator Kelly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you know, we are required by statute to have a meeting no sooner than 6 p.m. Between November 25th and 28th of December for our purposes of our upcoming budget and levy. In our earlier discussions of the budget schedule for this year, we had planned it to be on December 1st at 6 p.m. Just wanted to open that up for discussion for today so we could set that meeting and make sure we get that out on the proper notices.
Oh, as a note, yes, Commissioner Vetch will not be here. So he'll be out of town
On the first?
first.
will, yes.
Through the 8th, actually. So if we wanted, I mean, he's fine if you want to go ahead with it on the 1st, he just won't be here, but otherwise we can move it to the 15th. It would still be within our state guidelines.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner.
And I've been through the process once. I valued Commissioner Vetch's input last year with responding to questions and inquiries. I think his experience is important. If it's not an emergency to have it before the 15th, I'd be in favor of waiting. He had a very active part in the whole process.
Is everyone fine with that?
So, Madam Chair,
Commissioner Kelly?
the date would be the 15th. We could pick any of those days. I know at times we've considered the Thursday just because there are often township or city meetings on those Monday and Tuesday evenings.
Right.
So,
The only thing is we need to figure out when we have a planning and zoning. Let's see, the 15th, there is a planning and zoning meeting.
Oh, there is.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
there a reason why we can't do it on the 8th?
He won't.
Oh, that's right, he won't be back.
How about the 14th, a Wednesday?
I have choir.
And we can't do it before December 1st?
we could. Commissioner Vetch will be out, I believe, from the 30th through the 8th. So, in the past, we've been cognizant that the statements have to go out by the 25th. So, holding that meeting early, sometimes not all residents have had
Oh, I
time
got
to
it, yeah, okay.
look at that just as a concern, but we could hold it any time after November 25th.
The planning commission meets at 7 or 6,
7:30.
7:30.
How about the 30th of November, a Wednesday?
He'll
Like
be
you
gone.
said,
Is that,
he'll be gone and there's
The
no
30th.
guarantees.
oh, I
30th
thought,
through the
okay.
8th, yeah.
Oh, all right.
And I suppose the 12th,
Yeah, it's difficult because cities and townships have their meetings on the
Aren't most of them the first?
first couple, but there's one on the second, or there's two on the second. One is a Monday, one is a Tuesday. But I don't know of any that have it on the third Tuesday. Oh, yeah, I do too, one.
Yeah.
But if you, if we want to schedule it on a Wednesday, we sure can.
That's your choir night though, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
well,
they'll have to miss me.
well, that's all right. Otherwise, given the
Actually-
history of the small amount that attend here, I don't know that it's worth pushing it off from the Monday and Tuesday, given the attendance that we have on Thursdays. You have the same very small group of folks.
Yeah, I mean, you could have it on
12th, 13th, or 14th.
I'd say that
20, you could have it on the 22nd, it's 2 days before Christmas Eve, but, or if you go on the 21st, that's a Wednesday. Wednesday, the 21st, that work?
That's fine.
Yeah, Madam Chair, you could just, then we will adopt the preliminary on the 27th, have to be into the state by the 28th.
Okay,
So that's probably about the last day I would go
yeah,
to make the window.
Okay,
It's cutting it really close.
I'm good at the 21st.
Concerned faces from some of my folks.
what? Heather has a comment. This might be a little tough.
Yeah. Morning, Madam Chairman, Commissioners. I was just gonna say that is cutting it really close for us. If there's any kind of change or anything, that's not giving us any time.
I think we have it on I think the 12th will be a better,
12th or the 14th?
I would feel
12th
better.
or the
Not that
14th.
it's all about me, but
No, well, no,
feel
I mean,
better.
we have to be realistic, and give you enough time, because we don't want you working until midnight, 3 nights in a row.
yeah.
12th or the 14th, I think would be best.
Yep.
Either date.
Would you consider a Friday? I mean, I don't particularly like Fridays, but, that's a possibility.
Well, if
gotta
we
be-
have it during the week, then that does give finance, some time during the week before it goes into the next week, so, yeah.
Well, then Friday the 9th.
That's what I was thinking.
But it's in the evening.
What's that?
6 o'clock.
I know I won't be available that night.
12th or 14th, I think, is
I like
is
the
the best.
14th.
I think probably the 14th is a better day, because I have 2 of my townships meet, one on the second Monday, one on the second Tuesday, so,
Okay,
wait, I'm sorry, third Tuesday, never mind. 14th?
sure.
14th,
6,
14th at 6.
okay.
How does that go for finance? Is that
Is that
okay?
better?
That's much better.
Okay.
Just that third week was getting it awfully close, as Lee said, wasn't giving us a lot of time.
Okay.
And that way we could move up the board approval on the 20th.
Yeah.
All right. It's not always easy to find a date that
I'll
works
make
for
a
everybody.
motion to schedule a meeting for December 14th at 6 PM.
No second.
Budget levy.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Glyden, second by Commissioner Ketchmark. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion passes. Thank you. Advisory Committee, Advisory Board updates. Administrator Kelly, would you like to start?
Certainly. I know facility staff was meeting this morning in preparations for tomorrow's event of the public entities, checking out the equipment at the government center. So I was hoping to get an update from them on how many have inquired that they're going to attend, but I know interest was strong, so that will be tomorrow. Last week, we did have the pork chop event, which was nice to have everybody on one campus now. It was well attended and great to interact with all the employees on that date, so
Commissioner
that's all
Ketchmark?
I have.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, we attended most of us at the mayor's meeting last week in Cokato at the Bait and Hook. It was a good get-together, which reminds me, there was an item brought up by them as far as the elected officials paying dues starting next week, and it was
Next
mentioned
year.
next year, that we'll need to have a vote on that, so wondering if we can petition that for the next board meeting to talk about that, and there wasn't any talk about how much those dues were. Someone hopefully,
They said they were pretty reasonable, and we didn't inquire about what they were, but we could certainly get that information, but.
right, for discussion and
Right.
anything to do with budget. The timing's a little off because we had our budget discussions and we took our cuts, but hopefully that there isn't
there's-
much to the dues.
Usually enough money in professional services to cover a small fee, whatever that might be, so,
Okay,
yeah, if,
I don't remember ever paying.
no,
we never have, so
just new.
so the mayors all pay, and we just get to go free, so.
Okay.
it's kind of unique. Out of the 60-plus committees and boards, I don't know that there's any others that you get a meal regularly at a restaurant. I mean, we go to the township quarterly one, and that's not that way, and I don't attend any others that are like that. So it's a little unique, but it'll be good for discussion for the group and
Right,
in
yep,
the next meeting.
thank
So
you for,
that's all I had, Madam Chair.
Mr. Lydon.
Well, I missed everything. I missed that. I missed the pork chops. So I'm gonna come back next year and get my pork chop. Hopefully they'll save it from this year.
It's probably in the fridge.
So it really didn't have much going on. Too many things going on
Yeah.
at work, business.
All right, yeah, so I had to miss the pork chop dinner because I went to the Real Hope, presentation with the foster care parents that Wright County sponsored. And I also was, in the middle of a forensic science seminar, so I left that quick and came over here and, went back. But, so that was good, and it was a great, great dinner and good information with the AmeriCorps speaking at the Mayor's Association meeting. I had no clue how much they did, really, so that was very interesting. We had a colonel from the Army that's
US
retired.
Army
Yep,
Corps, yeah.
that had retired, so, but yeah, he did a really nice job. And I was at Great River Regional Library, a lot of discussion. They have actually the largest collection of music in the state. And they really encourage people to, parents to be active with their children in this, going to the library and in selecting things. So if there's any materials that some people deem as not appropriate, it's the parents that are involved with that. And basically, there's the collection developments on the website and the policies there. So we had a lot of good discussions, and I think that was it.
Okay, the Mining and Extraction Committee, we met last week, talked about the secondary uses of pits, and found it very interesting that the owners of, I should say the owners of the pit are actually the ones that come along and store their junk on the pits. And the ones that are operating the pits, they get a little upset with the landowners for the simple reason of doing that. So I didn't consider that ever before, but that, I guess, is a real problem with most of the pit operators. And and Barry was going to put some guidelines together so that we would have actually something to work from. So that'll be interesting what he comes up with. And let's see, had a historical society meeting, and we met the new archivist, and her name is Marissa Campanero. Was very impressed with her. And then one of the great things that we all participated in, except one person here, for the Festival of Trees. And I guess this year their theme is gingerbread. And so that will open on December 1st, and November 23rd will be the last day for putting up trees, actually. And they also talk about their new hours. There are no evening hours anymore.
Oh, there aren't.
They'll be opened Tuesday through Friday from 8 to 4:30. And what's new is they're now going to be open Saturdays from 9 to 3.
Okay.
Okay, and then, of course, I was at the mayor's meeting, and probably everybody there was wondering why I was so down on the Army Corps of Engineers. Was always a problem with projects in the SWCD, because they were always hard to work with, very hard to work with, so that's why I kind of boo-booed them about him, but, and then, of course, the employees' appreciation lunch, that seemed like everybody really appreciated that.
They
And I
do.
think I'm very happy that, I hope it will continue, so. And then I went to the Hanover Open House. And when I was there, there was at least 50 people milling around. So they had a very good turnout. But most of the people I actually talked to are against the projects on the roundabouts and that on 19, because they feel that St. Michael is really the one that's creating the problem, because they're going through 19 to go to St. Michael, and they aren't the creators of the problem, is how they look at it, so. At least the people I talked to, so.
So what is their suggestion?
Leave it alone,
Leave it with the lights?
yes.
But isn't the city of Hanover also for this improvement?
It depends on how the vote will look, because the Hanover Council is gonna have to decide that. And I understand there are some that aren't particularly happy about it either, so. However that vote turns out, I'm sure that's going to be a meeting where the room is full.
It's a difficult situation there, especially with Hennepin County saying they have no chance of doing anything.
Yeah, because they have said time and time again, no way are we doing anything.
I disagree, though, that it's St. Michael causing the issues, because
Yeah.
those people,
They can get up in St. Michael,
Oopsie.
it's traffic
Well, I
based
think,
off the freeway and that sort of stuff. And
yeah, I think, and that's why I asked the question before the freeway was even getting worked on, was the traffic as bad then? And
it was.
Yeah,
they
it's
claim it
been
is,
bad for
so.
years. Back.
So I don't know what the answer is to it.
Yeah, but we know traffic can be backed up to that three-way stop
Oh, yeah.
to get, so we were talking miles out, during the.
Normally
the
Fridays,
afternoon
Fridays on
I know.
the summer.
I've been stuck in it
rush. Yep, I have
many
too.
times, so.
So anyway, all right. If that is it. there's
Madam
nothing
Chair?
else? Yeah.
I just wanted to recognize our administrative staff for the minute-taking job that they did during the budget meetings.
Oh,
There's 34 pages of meeting minutes here today, and I know it was a group effort amongst some of the names we don't even see that helped with it, but I just want to thank them for holding it all together, giving us something to review on a weekly basis and bring to the meeting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
thank you.
Good point. Thank you, Commissioner Ketchmark. I think we can all echo that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so, all right, nothing else? We are adjourned at 9:39.